Imagine this, you sitting in your favorite chair, years from now, looking back on your life. What do you see? Are you smiling with pride, thinking, I absolutely nailed it? Or is there a knot in your stomach and you're thinking, I wish I had done things slightly differently? So here's the thing. In the UK, the average retirement lasts around 19 years. So that's nearly 2 decades. It does sound like a lot of time, but it's also a one-shot deal. So no do-overs, no rewinds, and not everyone gets it right. And I've seen it happen. People who have spent their working lives dreaming about their retirement only to reach the end of it feeling regretful. They've missed chances, made costly financial blunders, or worst of all, realizing they didn't truly live those years. So in this video, I'm diving into the 5 biggest regrets people have at the end of their retirement. But more importantly, I'll show you how to make sure those regrets never become your reality. So let's get started. Regret number 1 is not planning for retirement sooner. Now, this one might not surprise you, but it's one of the biggest mistakes people make. Many people wait until their late 50s or even 60s before they seriously start thinking about retirement. And by then, they've missed out on decades of opportunities to prepare. If you think about it, the earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. So even small contributions in your 20s or 30s can make a huge difference thanks to compounding investment growth. But waiting until later often means you playing catch up, which can feel a bit stressful and limit your options going forward. But even if you have accumulated wealth, there's still a lot to plan. So for example, how will you structure your investments for steady growth and income? What is your withdrawal strategy to make your portfolio last? Do you want to gift money to your kids or grandkids? And if so, how will that affect your financial security? So these types of questions require careful thought and planning many years before retirement. And also don't forget the non-financial side of retirement. So what will you do with your time? How will you stay engaged and fulfilled? Work does provide structure, that sense of value and social connections, all things many retirees miss. So planning for lifestyle in retirement is just as important as planning the finances. So the key takeaway is start early, even if it's just a little. If you're listening to this and thinking, I've left it too late, don't worry. It's never too late to start planning, but the key is to take action and don't feel afraid to ask for help. So navigating your way through regular changing taxes, legislation, pension rules, and the market can be overwhelming. So encourage everyone to reach out for help, and that might be speaking to an independent financial advisor to help you with your retirement plans. Regret number 2 is not being flexible with your retirement plans. Life rarely goes exactly as planned, and retirement is no exception. Sometimes unexpected events like market downturns, health issues, or changes in family circumstances require us to adjust our course. So many people regret not being open to revisiting their plans and making those necessary changes along the way. Flexibility is key. For example, if expenses rise unexpectedly or your investments underperform, you might need to reduce your regular spending temporarily or rethink some of your goals. A common mistake I often see retirees make is getting the asset allocation completely wrong. Some go too conservative, so putting everything in cash or fixed income, which means their portfolio likely won't grow at the rate they need. Others go way too aggressive, putting 100% of their funds in equities without fully understanding the risks of market volatility and drawdowns, especially when they're taking money out from their portfolio to fund their lifestyle. Let's take a closer look at how a diversified portfolio of shares and bonds will have performed during some of the worst market events in history. Take the tech crash in the early 2000s as an example. So if you are invested in a similar portfolio, one that's broadly diversified and at a low cost, your investments would have fallen by around 23.7%. The drop from peak to bottom took 29 months, and the recovery back to the previous high took another 21 months. So in total, it took just over 4 years or 50 months to fully recover. Now, here's the key question. When the next market crash does happen, and it will happen at some point, what is your plan? How will you continue funding your retirement where markets are down? For example, will you keep withdrawing from your portfolio? Many retirees don't have a plan for these kinds of scenarios, and this can leave them vulnerable, ultimately leading to regret. So it's crucial to understand the potential for these downturns and make sure you have a strategy in place to navigate through them. And on the flip side, sometimes things go better than expected, and you might have the opportunity to do more than you originally planned. Regret number 3 is wishing you had stayed in touch with friends. So during our working years, it's easy to get caught up in careers, family, and the day-to-day business of life. Before you know it, months or even years have gone by without reaching out to old friends. But here's the thing, relationships are a big part of what makes life meaningful, especially in retirement. Social connections don't just provide companionship, they help keep us mentally sharp and physically healthy as well as emotionally fulfilled. Studies have shown that maintaining strong social ties can even improve longevity and reduce the risk of depression as we age. Regret number 4 is working too hard. Now, this doesn't mean work isn't important, but many retirees look back and wish they had found a better balance between work and personal life. They regret missing family milestones and not taking time to enjoy life along the way. Sometimes we don't have a specific goal or a detailed plan to work towards in our careers or finances. We might aimlessly save into our pensions, hoping to reach a certain amount, for example, £500,000 or £1 million, thinking that will be enough. But when that day comes and your pension hits that magic number, it doesn't always mean what you thought it would. So without a clear plan, you might keep saving, unsure of when to stop or how to use those funds effectively. And working with the right financial advisor can change this. They can help you figure out how much you really need to retire, how much to save each month, and create a plan for the worst case scenario, such as a potential job loss, critical illness, or even the loss of life. Knowing you have a safety net and a clear strategy can bring immense peace of mind. It might even allow you to relax a little bit at work, perhaps scaling back your days or hours as you approach retirement. And finally, regret number 5 is not living the life you wanted to live. This is perhaps the most profound regret of all. Many people reach the end of their lives wishing they had been truer to themselves, pursued their passions, or taken more risks. They've spent too much time doing what they felt they should do instead of what they truly wanted to do. And often we don't allow ourselves to be happy, putting off joy for some other day, or even prioritizing others' expectations of our own. So retirement is your opportunity to live life on your own terms. What does that look like for you? Is it traveling the world, picking up a new hobby, or simply spending more time with family? It's also a chance to reflect on the smaller everyday things that brings happiness, things you might have overlooked while caught up in the hustle of life. So there you have it, 5 big common regrets people have at the end of their retirement. The good news is these regrets are completely avoidable. So by taking action today, you can create a retirement that's not only financially secure, but also deeply fulfilling. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this episode, please do subscribe and share it with someone who might find it helpful. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, please drop me an email. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video.